Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Pre-Market News and Views by Money Stocks. Today is Thursday, November 1st, 2012. Thank you for tuning in. Let's jump right into the charts here. We'll start off with the usual S&P 500 E-mini futures. You're going to see that the futures are basically trading flat this morning. They did overcome a deficit overnight. Around 9 o'clock last night, they were trading below the 1400 level. Now trading back around 1406.50 at the moment. So futures have come in. When that happens, you see the futures starting to rise. That usually means one thing. The dollar has pulled back and sold off. And sure enough, you could see the dollar last night, even around 3 o'clock in the morning, start to come down, made a little double top, and has moved lower. So if the dollar moves lower, the markets move higher, and that's basically the way it works. Again, keep an eye on the dollar. I see it say the same thing every day, but you see it come true almost repeatedly. The dollar is really the driving force behind every market move. If the dollar sells off, obviously the markets will inflate and trade higher. That's what we're looking at the moment. A couple of other things to look at this morning. One ADP job report was just released, so everybody should be aware of that. I don't think it's a market mover. I think the market is really waiting for the government job report, which will be out tomorrow. So we'll see how that plays out. Also, you do have a lot of economic news out besides the ADP report at 8:30 today. You'll have weekly jobless claims as well. I believe there are some other economic reports out today as also, I think at 10 o'clock. So maybe ISM or something like that, but I forget. In any case, just watch the dollar. It will tell you everything you need to know for the most part. There's also some European news out last night, but the big news really overall that was released was China's PMI rose above 50. That usually tells you that the economy is starting to pick up. Any reading above 50 tells you that the economy is no longer contracting but expanding. So we'll see how that plays out. The Shanghai was up 1.72% last night. That tells us that Chinese ADRs could be strong this morning if the U.S. markets hold up. So let's take a look at some Chinese FXI, which is the iShares China F25 index, and you can see that's catching a nice little early bid. So again, watch for some strength in the Chinese ADRs today, and we'll see how that plays out. If the U.S. markets are weak, though, I wouldn't look for too much out of the Chinese ADRs. If the U.S. markets are strong, Chinese ADRs will likely lead the market today. So we'll see how that plays out a little bit later. Now let's talk about some stocks in the news today. There's a host of them. Nothing really over the top that looks great, but we'll go through a few different names. You do have stocks like ExxonMobil that reported earnings. Again, I'm not going to make much out of this. There's no trade in here right now for the gap play. Maybe 89.50, there'll be a little bit of support or something, but outside of that, there's not all that much there. Visa was another big one that reported earnings. Stocks trading at 142.50. It has a little resistance at 143, but that's not even shortable. If it got to 148.50, 149, 150 level, I think it could be a fade there. But right now, Visa's holding up okay. Nothing great, nothing terrible. There's not really a play on the charts as far as Visa is concerned. Another stock I was looking at this morning was Estee Lauder. This one has had a nice little sell-off, but it's already come roaring back a little bit after trading down to around the $57 level. Keep these levels on watch. I don't know if they're even going to come into play, but 57.42 is going to be some support, and I really like this 55.63 area. 55.63. It could be as low as 55.25, but in that level, that's a really, really good bounce area. So anywhere around that 55.63 to 55.30, 55 and a quarter level, that's a really good support level. If Estee Lauder got down there, I would be all over it myself. So keep an eye on that one if it does happen. Another one I was looking at was ABX. This is Barrick Gold. This one is getting hit a little bit today. I don't know the news behind it, but I do have levels. So it's a fairly strong gap down, so you want to respect that. Right now, it's at a little bit of support on the charts at 38.57, so there's going to be a little bit of support here. But you got a nice level here at 37.13, and then we have another really decent little level there for a bounce at 35.69. So 37 13 and 35.69. Those are going to be two decent little levels for short-term bounces on Barrack today, scalp-wise. Let's take a look at Zoomies. This little retailer is getting hit pretty decently, closed at $25.32. Today it's trading at $21.43. The levels I'm looking at here, really, it's there's not much left in this stock. The stock has a 200-day moving average on a weekly chart around 21.58. You're trading a little bit below that now. So really the next level for this is going to be all the way down to around 16 bucks. So maybe it's $15.90, $16 area. That's really it for the stock. Other than that, there's not much to do. Maybe if it recaptures that 200 MA on the weekly chart, it could get a bounce there around the 21.50 level. But overall, this right now is definitely on the weaker side, and traders should be a little bit careful with it. But 16 bucks, I think you'll get a nice bounce there. Netflix, let's talk about that one real quick. This one caught a mega surge yesterday. It was on the back of Call Icons buying some shares, some participation there. Still amazes me after 20 years of following this guy. He jumps in a stock and he can move markets. But in any case, Call Icon is getting involved. That's going to shake the company up a little bit. Traders should watch for a little bit of a pullback. I think it was a little bit overdone to the upside yesterday, trading as high as $85. But there'll be some short-term support levels around $74.50, $71.25, and then $67.99. You're going to have to watch the chart patterns though on the intraday chart, because this is a volatile stock, and we'll have to see how it plays out from there. Another one I was looking at today was this JDAS. This is JDS Software. I believe this is a buyout. So there's nothing to do. If you own it, congratulations. If you don't, just trail your stop loss. If you do own it, you want to take profits here, just trail your stop loss. That's all you want to do. If you don't own it, there's nothing to do. Just leave it alone. It will trade sideways for the rest of the day. Okay, so there's not a lot you could do there. Another one I was looking at today was this Ellie Mae. This company makes like mortgage application software. Right now, the stock's trading at $27.45, closed at 25 bucks. So that's a pretty good gap up. There's a fair amount of resistance. It's a strong gap, believe it or not. It's coming off of a 4-day base. So it's a fairly strong gap, but there's pretty good resistance around the $29 level, possibly even 30 bucks. It's a little bit on the thin side, which makes it a tough short. But, again, we'd look at that. I would look at that a little later in the day, providing seeing how the pattern plays out. But it's a tough short because it is a strong gap, and it is a little bit on the thin side. Okay, there's another one out here. I was looking at Avon Products. This is trading down today, closed at $15.49. Right now it's trading at $14.85. You're going to have a little bit of support around $14.50. Okay, so traders can watch it there around $14.50. You will have some support. Could give you a little bit of a quick bounce. I'd rather not see it get there in a pre-market. But after that, the stock looks like it could go a lot lower. So be careful with this Avon Products. $14.50 will be some quick support. Pierce of $14.50, I should say. It'll be around $14.45. And then after that, I don't even see much there for Avon. The stock really is in, pretty much free fall mode. Just looking at another little level here. That's all the way down to $11.65. So there's not much there. But I think $14.50 could give us a quick bounce if you're an aggressive trader. So watch that level. Pierce of $14.50 rather. Make it $14.45. All right, that's pretty much everything that I was looking at this morning. There's a couple of others out there, Pfizer and a few other stocks, but they're really not moving all that much. So I'm not going to make too much out of it. I only want to look at the stocks that are making really significant moves. Again, you do have the weekly jobless claims number out. Futures are getting a little bit more of a bid. They're up 3/4 of 1 point. So, we can't make too much out of this. Looks like they dropped 9,000 to 363,000 for the week. Again, nothing great, nothing terrible. Kind of in line with what's anticipated, especially ahead of an election. So with that said, everybody, I want to wish you all a great trading day, and we'll see you on the charts tomorrow. Take care, everyone.